Hi, I'm Jay Goldman, co-founder and CEO of Sensei Labs. I'm joined here today by Jonathan Anscombe, our very good partner from Kearney. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, so my name is Jonathan Anscombe. I'm a partner with Kearney based in London. I lead Next. I've been working with Jay and his team for nearly 3 years now.
Wow, time flies. All right, so Jonathan, we wanted to chat a little bit today about the impact of COVID-19 on Kearney and on your business, but actually first from a personal perspective. How's it been working from home?
Well, I'm pretty lucky because I've got a sort of house in the countryside, so it's a good place to be locked down. I work at home quite a lot anyway because we have so many installations all around the world, from the Middle East to Asia to the US, across Europe. So I'm actually finding, to be honest, I'm finding it a bit easier to get hold of people. They're actually at home and they're more available. So it's been fine for me.
Sort of similar for us. I mean, as you know, we work all over the world together. And so it doesn't really make that much difference whether we're at home or not. But I do miss being able to grab a coffee with the team in person and sort of chat through things.
Yeah.
So Kearney's been doing a lot of amazing work to support your customers through this. I know there's been a lot of really great content published on the Kearney website, and we're pulling that content into Conductor for COVID-19. But maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of the key initiatives you're working on in response to COVID-19.
Well, as you're saying, we've created a lot of sort of material which we're providing to our clients for free to help them think through how it impacts their particular industry. The other area we've been doing a lot of work on, of course, is supply chain. It's a real strength for Kearney, and the supply chains all over the world are getting deeply disrupted. We are participating in some big global initiatives as well, which haven't really been publicized yet, but hopefully will become available in due course. And we also are offering free advice to people. If you go onto our COVID website, if you can ask a question and we'll just answer it for free anyway. I'm not sure we've done that before, but we're really, the way we're seeing this is, we have a lot of clients, they've got a lot of challenges, we just want to help, and if we have spare capacity, we'll just go in and help them.
Which is amazing, really. And I think everything we can all do to help the economy recover faster is of huge benefit to the world. So thank you on behalf of the rest of the world. Thank you, Kearney, for all of the work that you're doing there. One of the programs you are involved in, of course, is partnering with us on the Conductor for COVID-19 platform. And so I'm interested in what led you to get involved in that, maybe from more of a sort of philosophical standpoint. Why is it important to be helping businesses out right now?
So there are certain things about Conductor that really help people at this moment in time. The speed of implementation, the ability to simplify everything down and make it really easy to implement, very easy to interact with the platform is really helpful. And we've got a number of conversations with both clients who are using Conductor today and who may use it in the future. So, we're very happy to do whatever we can to contribute to other people having access to the same capabilities. I mean, our whole approach as a firm has been just to sort of get in and try and help wherever we can. And just reflecting back, it's quite interesting that there was like no internal debate about doing that, because it just seems such an obvious thing to do. Many of our clients are doing the same. I mean, so many of our clients are reconfiguring their factories, reconfiguring their supply chains without really any expectation of profit. I just think when you find yourself in a situation like this, you need to sort of do what you think is right and then worry about the commercials afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, many teams around the world are sort of settling into new, different rhythms. They're figuring out work from home. They're starting to, I think, get out of the immediate response to the crisis and starting to get back to business as usual, and maybe even starting to plan ahead for recovery. What do you see as the key points that need to happen or that need to get considered so that we can start to transition really into full-time recovery?
Well, it's really interesting because we're quite global. You see different things happening all over the world. So I sit on calls looking at across all of Europe, and you're starting to see that some of the markets who went in earlier and have managed it better, places like Germany, clients are now starting to think about what the world looks like afterwards. So they typically go through a phase of pretty chaotic at the start as they've got things hitting them from every possible direction. They're just trying to get a grip. And then they've got all the people stuff they're worried about. And then once they got it stabilized, they're starting to now start thinking about the future. So I think it's really about confidence. And when when clients feel that they are, when companies feel that they sort of got a grip on the current situation, and obviously that varies enormously by client. I mean, some healthcare clients are just struggling with the volume, while others have seen their entire, business evaporate.
Mhm.
I just think it's going to be very slow, very choppy, with stuff coming back again, and it's going to vary hugely by country and by market. So it's going to be a slow and complicated and kind of messy coming out of recovery, I think. And we just need to talk with the clients about where they are and how we can help.
So as they start to go back into the office and return to a maybe more familiar way of working, there's going to be some long-term effects from this that change the way we work. And so we're really interested in, maybe from your perspective, two things. One is what you hope companies learn and adopt from this experience, and then something that you think will be forever changed after this.
The thing I'm most So, my background was in healthcare for years and years. And what has happened in the last 3 months is extraordinary, with crunching down of lead times. We're talking about bringing a medical device to market in 4 weeks. That is ridiculous. That's a 5-year process. Similarly with new drugs. And I just really, really hope that people have realized that if you get the right people in a room together, focused around a single objective, and you have people like regulators in the room as well, you can do amazing things. And I am just, increasing, medical innovation by a factor of 10. I just really, really hope that people don't go back to the old ways, and we really learn the power of collaboration through this, the power of open collaboration around single goals. So that's kind of my one hope.
In terms of things that'll be forever changed, I know you've spent a lot of your career flying around the world on airplanes, in-person meetings. Do you see that world going back to that after, or do you think this is really the push that we needed to massively adopt digital technology?
I think we all think it's changed, and it's really interesting for projects where we are obviously, when we have a history, and our whole way we work is typically with the client on site, very sort of intimate relationship, and everyone was wondering, how's this going to work? And the interesting thing is, it works fine. Some interesting things happen. I mean, when you see in the back of, unless they got virtual backgrounds, you see where people live, and that interestingly does change the nature of the interaction, because you're starting to see where people live. They're all dressed in t-shirts and shirts rather than suits. So there's almost a sort of a level of intimacy in some ways, which is rather bizarrely is more than you would have in the old world. So I think remote working, the way I described it, wrote a blog recently, has been legitimized. It was always possible, but it was somehow never quite right. You were supposed to travel. It was supposed to be difficult to demonstrate that you should be there. And I think that's changed. So what I really hope has changed is traveling 6 hours for a 20-minute meeting, which I've done too many times. And I really, really hope that's gone, and people will just say, hey guys, can we Zoom more Teams instead?
Yeah, absolutely. I have also in my career traveled many times for short meetings where the travel time was way longer than the meeting itself. And as you said, sometimes it was just showing that commitment, that you were willing to do that was the sort of sacrifice. But I think now people are seeing maybe those sacrifices aren't as meaningful as we thought they were. And as you said, there is actually a different type of intimacy that comes out of these relationships when you are getting to know somebody a little bit more in their home, and their kids running around in the background and those sorts of things. I think the interesting thing as well is what changes in our own sort of personal calculation of what's important in life. I know that some of the things I thought I would miss, I don't miss at all. And some of the things that I unexpectedly never thought I would miss, like maybe sitting in traffic, actually feels like something that was a bit of a sign of normal life. So what are you missing? What's the one thing that you're really, really looking forward to doing when quarantine is over?
Well, I'm a Brit, so going down the pub.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Well, I hope one day we get to sit in a pub together again, somewhere in the world.
As we have many times before.
As we have many times before. Thanks for joining us today, Jonathan. Much appreciated. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.